Welcome back to Tabletop Assault. I'm Ross, and today I'm going to be catching up on a few things that have happened concerning Warhammer 40k. Just that I've been off for a few days, and a few things have happened. I'm going to start off with my thoughts on the Nova 2023 event. We saw a number of things here, but of course I'm going to concentrate on the 40k side, which was of course Marine Heavy. So I thought I'd maybe go into what my thoughts are on this and let you know how I feel it went. First thing I want to do is compare this to the past Nova 2022 event. So what I believe we saw there was heavily on the League of Votann side. So a number of units were revealed there. The Hekaton Land Fortress, Uther Destins, Einherr Champion, Broker Iron Master, Grimnir, Synthonium Berserker, Mo Grenade Launcher. I believe that's the upgrade for the Berserk units. I think a big highlight for this one was the Hekaton, a fairly well received unit. Some people were looking for a train. I think that's going back to way back in the day of squats, but this is something a bit different. But overall, I think people were largely really positive of the unit itself. Quite different, quite cool, and painted one myself now, and it is quite a beast of a model. There was also what was announced was the League of Votann box set, so it showed the starter set. It showed you what characters and units were going to be generally starting your collection and the faction. And I thought it was a really good starter set as well. I think people were pleased to see sort of the filled out side of the League of Votann and how they were possibly going to start their collection. So very quite well received that side of the League of Votann. And then we did get to see the Khorne Berserkers, which were again largely well received, but there was criticisms. The main two being that they were too clean. Something about them didn't seem feral or bestial or feral, ferocious. Something missing a bit there. They did seem like very, I don't know, just something missing on the ferocity side. And the other main one was that there was a lot of similarities in positioning and posing to some of the other kits, mainly the Chaos Space Marine kit, the Legionnaires. That you'd notice some of the models in there just seemed to be standing the same. They had some of the iconography is obviously changed to represent World Eaters, but just seemed a little bit too similar there. So that was maybe a little bit of a down point when it came to the announcing of the Khorne Berserker models. However, overall people were just excited to see them because this was such an new unit for such an old unit that had been, the same unit had been used since I started playing 40k, so that's going back a couple of decades there. And it was really good to see this new unit bring a bit of life to such an old and iconic unit, I guess. So with it came to Nova 2022, I think it was generally, for the 40k side, quite well received. You saw a new Xenos faction with League of Votann and really got rounded up, and you got to see what's going on in the future when it came to World Eaters. So you're seeing what's essentially coming up in the future and a bit in the future going ahead. So how does that compare with Nova 2023? Let's have a look at the things that were announced. So in 2023, we've got almost entirely Space Marines when it came to the announcements. Now, that is a little bit surprising in on the fact that, one, I did expect Space Marines. We were wanting to see, well, of the two starting factions, we had Tyranids and Space Marines, Tyranids being the first ones to go, with a lot of their new stuff being shown. So it made sense Space Marines go next, but I was expecting to possibly see what we might be seeing further down the line. And I do feel there was a lot of other Space Marine units held back from the announcement, which is fair, but it would be nice to know maybe what they got planned for, maybe a little bit after what happened to Space Marines, similar to what they did with 2022 by showing the Khorne Berserkers. So what did we see when it came to Space Marines? One of the highlights for myself was seeing the various characters. So we got a Captain Terminator armor. This is no real surprise. We did have the updated model in Leviathan, and that was all well and good. But we got to see the Captain Terminator armor and the range that you do have, the weapons and war gear you have options in that one. From what they've announced is for the range, it's combi weapon or Stormbolter, and for melee you've got Relic Sword, Relic Fist. Interesting, they said Relic Fist. I don't know if they mean Power Fist. Could be wrong on that one. And then missing, you're missing the Relic Shield, I suppose it's Storm Shield, and, well, I believe they call it Relic Shield kind of now. And then you've got the Thunder Hammer and Chain Fist. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Do they still have the option of Thunder Hammer, Storm Shield / Relic Shields? And then I believe they had the Chain Fist option in the other part. I suppose the Codex will let us know a bit more on that one. Maybe we need to, if we don't have it within the kit, we can still use them otherwise. I just know Games Workshop really doesn't like not giving war gear options if they do not have an option to buy the full model with that war gear. But it'll be interesting to see when that comes out, I suppose, with Space Marine Codex. I don't imagine they're going to remove Thunderhammer, Storm Shield, Relic Shield from option of a Captain Terminator armor. That would be a really bad idea if you ask me. Next, we've got the Captain with Jump Pack. So, in terms of range, you have the Bolt Pistol, Plasma Pistol, or Hand Flamer options. And then for melee, you've got the Relic Fist, Relic Blade, or Chain Sword. And then what you're missing is quite a lot of things from what I could see here. Combi Weapon, Grav Pistol, Inferno Pistol, I think that's Blood Angels possibly only, Storm Bolter, Relic Shield, Thunderhammer, Lightning Claws. Yeah, quite a lot of different things there. What I'd say about the model is I really do like it. And I think I'd prefer just jumping off the ground. I don't think I'd want maybe the rock, just have it on the ground, look like sleeping up. That's cool enough to me. One thing I would say is I'm mainly a Chaos Space Marine player, and this makes me extremely salty because we obviously have a little bit of contention side when it comes to us and Chaos Lords and jump packs. Maybe that might be something in the future if they're going to give anything to Chaos. Not that we've not had a lot released in the past few years. I think we'd all love to have jump Chaos Lord back, please. And then we also got the Chaplain Terminator armor, so bringing all together a lot of Terminator armor options. I believe this one was originally, I think that the Chaplain Terminator armor was a limited edition model, so it was quite hard to find. So it is good that they are bringing out an official one that is accessible. And in terms of ranged weapons, has the Storm Bolter, melee weapons has Crosium, Arcanum, and the Relic Shield. Interesting, they got it, and the previous ones did not. That's a bit unusual. I don't think Chaplain and Terminator armor in the first place could have a Relic Shield. Not 100% sure on that one. And then it seems to be missing a combi weapon. That might just be something they forgot to mention in there, that their Storm Bolter and combi weapon could be there. I think having the shield is really nice. I don't think shields are really big at the moment just because they only add an extra wound. They're not as important or as vital as they used to be. I do find the positioning of it a little bit dull, especially compared to the limited edition model they had in the past. It was really cool. Absolutely stunning model. This one, a little bit less exciting. Overall, when it comes to characters, I think it's great. It's good to see all the Terminator come back and get updated. Always really good to see that. And then we have the Captain Jump Pack, really going to help for the units that he's going to be going with. Which, speaking of that, and we're on to the Space Marine units. And of course, we got the Assault Intercessors. So this was a very rumoured unit that were coming. I suppose Space Marine 2 really hinted at that quite a large part. But it had been requested for many years now since, the dreaded Primaris entered the world and people were asking we wanted more combat units. Well, now we have the versions with jump packs. And I feel people are largely quite positive of this. One thing you notice is that they do look similar to just, Assault Marines. They are the updated armour, they have their jump packs, they look quite cool. So I think a lot of people were largely quite positive of this. Assault Intercessors, you could just tell me they were Assault Marines and it'd be all good, in my mind anyway. And then we have Terminators. Now, it was said they were not the Assault ones, and this again was no surprise, mainly because the Leviathan box set had Terminators, but they didn't have all the missing parts, the certain upgrade parts. This will have them all there, so you might find this probably a little bit more popular to fill out with all the special weapons that are possibly more preferable, depending on the loadout that you want. Does mention specifically that the Assault version will remain for the time being. That says time being. How we want to read into that, I don't know. That could be saying, we've got new ones on the way, or it could mean that there's going to be some in many, many years' time. Who knows? Maybe read into it as much as you want to. I can't really say on that side. We then have the Company of Heroes, a nice update to the command squads. Don't know why they really changed the name on that one. I think it may have sounded better, I'm not sure. I'd probably say that the models look fantastic. This has never been really, in my mind, a go-to unit before. I've never really seen them played in many games I've played against. In fact, I can't even name one where I have seen it. So, very, very interesting. It's going to be... I don't think I'm going to really see these as played as much, but they certainly do make some cool centerpiece models. I'm not sure... Again, one thing is I'm not a Space Marine player. I think they're cool models, but in terms of the rules when it comes to attaching a captain to a unit, Sometimes you will just find a unit that does the role pretty well and needs a captain rather than a company of heroes. Still very cool models and good to have an update to an iconic unit itself in terms of the command squad. Another one, this is probably the update I was really surprised by. I think there were some rumours of it, but I generally didn't quite believe them. And it was the Scout Squad, and I thought it was a fantastic update to such a classic unit. It's been a long time they've been in circulation. Now, the main interesting thing is that can you have a full unit of snipers? If they've removed the ability to have a full unit of snipers, now I know they said that I think one of them could be made a sniper. How that works, whether they're going to say, oh, now snipers can only be 1 per unit or 2 per unit, that's going to really annoy quite a few players. I don't know if I read anything there that maybe confirmed anything, whether it be in the article or the comments where they said, no, you can have still a full unit and you can probably just use your old models. No one's going to complain about that. This is just updated ones. But if you can't, that is going to annoy quite a few people I know. So I'm very intrigued to read a bit more about that one, just in terms of the sniper units. And then the Stern Guard, which was another unit kind of suspected because of Leviathan, and that I think there was a few weapon options here, but main selling point was the customization. I think they had said that there was quite a few more options for this unit, just to make them look a bit more unique per model, which is quite cool. I think Stern Guard, a few people were talking about, they quite enjoyed using them as a unit, so that might be a popular purchase as well. Overall, when it comes to units, I think the highlights for myself was the Scout Squad, and I think the Assault Intercessors people were quite pleased with. And the Company Heroes, generally, people were like, these are very cool models. Don't know if they're worth playing necessarily, but generally quite cool themselves. So overall in the units, quite pleased. And that is it on my thoughts on the Nova 2023 announcement relating to the 40k side. I'll maybe summarise some of my thoughts on the other sides in a moment, but just speaking in terms of the Space Marines, well, I suppose entirely to the 40k side, is that wasn't surprised to see a Space Marine focused. I think a lot of people were expecting that. Really what you'd kind of suspect when it is just after a new edition announced and they hadn't spoken about Space Marines a lot. Yeah, now they are speaking about the Space Marines a lot, so kind of makes sense on that side. I thought the Terminator, the characters, the Terminator is really cool, the Jump one very, very cool. Love to see it for Chaos Space Marines, that'd be really enjoyable, please. Though I have customised my own one, and I'm really pleased with that, but still. And the units themselves, good to see Assault or melee focused ones. Again, that was something that was missing in 8th edition when you had a big model revamp. Then 9th edition you got a lot more. Now we're getting sort of the the Assault Intercessors, so that's really good. And then you have the Company of Heroes, which was really, really nice as well. And the Scouts, just good to see an iconic unit get updated. And I'm seeing that a lot, is these old iconic units, whether it be the Terminators, Assault, Scouts, all get updated. In the article, interesting enough, a lot of the times, I don't know if they mention the dreaded Primaris word very much, and they now just refer to them as Space Marines and as their units themselves, so Assault Intercessors or Scouts, whatever. It's a very interesting conversation, that one. Are they just, walking back the term Primaris? Do they now just address them as Space Marines or Firstborn? Really going away now because they're now just, the Primaris are now just Space Marines. I suppose they always were to an extent. It's an interesting conversation. It has been many years since 8th edition when Primaris came about. I think that was 2017, I believe. Yeah, 2017. So it's been, 6 years on, and very, very interesting. I'm very intrigued to see what we're going to see in the Codex, which was announced as well, in terms of Firstborn units. It is a very thick, slimmed down, I think it was 93 data sheets, so that suggests there's going to be a mighty change there, whether for the best or not with Space Marines, it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, in terms of, the announcements, I would have liked to have seen something that would say what's coming up next. We know what the rough codexes are going to be coming up. I believe it's Admech and Necrons. Both saw, Necron saw a huge amount of additions in the previous edition to their roster, and Admech to a degree have as well. Don't think so much last edition, maybe the edition before that, 2020, they did see some. So I don't think them so much, but just to get a bit of an idea of maybe something they were going to work on later might be nice. On the other stuff, I will probably say that the Age of Sigmar stuff was fine. I wasn't too excited about that in some of the specialist games. I would have loved to see more on the old world stuff. Now, I was a huge fantasy player, massive one. Absolutely love some of the stuff, and will probably be collecting some of my own collection there. But I really want to see what they've got announced for it. Having the one damsel was fine, but I really, really want to know what's going on there. And then the Fulgrim model was a masterclass in teasing everyone there. I think it's an absolute fantastic model, really really good model. It was probably the right choice to go with after Horus. To go with, well, which one are we going to go with Demon Prince of? Let's go with him because there's no 40k version. And they did, as they put, rip off the band-aid by going, look, this is not for 40k. Never know what the future holds. I'm sure Emperor's Children are being talked about, and we will see what's happening there. And that will be somewhere way down the line. I think there's many other products. It took many years difference to get the World Eaters out compared to Death Guard. I mean, I think they were brought out in 2017 with Mortarion. Magnus was in December 2016. And then you've got all the way now until we got, of course, the Lion and Angron back. So it might be a while till we see another Primarch and another faction get a Codex when it comes to them. But you never know. That's all speculation for the future. So thanks again for watching. Please comment, share, like and subscribe. I'm going to try and cover another few things when I get the chance. I was held back. I was away on holiday. And so didn't really get a chance to cover the Nova stuff as it came out. So I wanted to give my thoughts today and some of the other stuff that has been talked about. So thanks again, and we'll see you in another Tabletop Assault Battle Report.